What if you prayed, fasted, cried, and God didn't come? What if you believed with all your heart, yet the door stayed shut? What if the miracle you expected never came, the healing didn't happen, the job never showed up, and the answer you were waiting for was silence? Would you still trust Him? Would you still rise again? Would you still move forward when heaven seems quiet? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, today I came to talk to someone who feels forgotten by God. Someone who was asking in the secret corners of their heart, Lord, what about me? You've seen others testify. You've clapped for people whose prayers got answered. But when you return home, your pillow is soaked with tears. You whisper in the dark, what if God doesn't come for me? This speech is for you. When God seems silent, He's not absent. Sometimes silence is not abandonment. It's training. When God seems silent, He's often preparing you, not punishing you. Let's be honest, God doesn't always come when we expect Him to, but that doesn't mean He's not coming. It's a space where He shapes your strength, your patience, and your faith. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, thrown into prison. If anyone had the right to say, God forgot me, it was him. But the same prison became the platform that introduced him to Pharaoh. God didn't come when Joseph wanted, but He came right on time. So with your prayers seem unanswered, remember, delay is not denial. God's silence is His strategy. Sometimes the reason He hasn't come yet, because He's still aligning the pieces. What if God doesn't come the way you expected? Maybe the issue is not that God didn't come. Maybe He came in a way you didn't recognize. Many of us expect God to come through the front door with thunder and light. But sometimes He comes quietly, like a whisper, through a stranger, a disappointment, or a loss. God doesn't always come wrapped in what you wanted. Sometimes He comes wrapped in what you needed. You prayed for strength, and He gave you battles. You prayed for wisdom, and He gave you problems to solve. You prayed for love, and He gave difficult people to forgive. You prayed for faith, and He gave you situations that forced you to trust Him. What if the no you heard was actually His? Not yet. What if the pain you felt was not rejection, but redirection? When it seems God didn't come, look again. He might be working behind the scenes in a form you didn't expect. What next? When heaven is quiet, keep moving. Now here's the real question. What next? If God didn't come in your case, you move. You don't stop. You don't quit. You don't surrender your faith to your feelings. When heaven is quiet, it's not a signal to stop. It's an invitation of one fresh to creep. Fresh to creep. In fact, first, think of a seed buried under the soil. It's dark, it's silent, and it feels forgotten. But in that silence, something powerful is happening. Roots are forming. Growth is happening underground before anything appears on the surface. That's what happens when God seems distant. He's building you underground. He's forming character, discipline, and resilience. Because when the time comes, you won't just have the blessing. You'll have the strength to sustain it. So what next? Keep praying, keep trusting, keep doing the last thing God told you to do, even when you don't see results yet. Because faith is not proven in comfort. It's proven in delay. Don't let delay turn into doubt. When the answer doesn't come, the enemy whispers, God has forgotten you. That's oldest lie, is forgotten you. That's the oldest one in history. He told Eve, did God really say? And still ask him the same question today.
He wants you to doubt God's God's goodness when life gets tough. He wants you to believe that unanswered prayers mean unworthy lives. But listen to me. God's delay is never God's disinterest. The same God who showed up for Daniel in the lion's den, for the widow at Zarephath, for Hannah at Shiloh. He hasn't retired. He's still God. But here's the truth. God's timetable is not our timetable. You're watching the clock, but he's watching your development. Sometimes because he's cruel, but because he's kind. Because what you're praying for now might destroy you if you receive it too soon. So don't let delay become doubt. Let delay become discipline. When God doesn't come, become who he wanted you to be. Maybe you've been asking God to change your situation, but maybe he's waiting for you to change in the situation. Sometimes the real miracle is not that God moves the mountain, but that he teaches you to climb it. Maybe the miracle is in what he gives, but in who you become while waiting. If God hasn't come yet, ask yourself, what lessons is he trying to teach me here? What version of me is he trying to develop through this pain? Because every delay carries a lesson. Every no hides a next. When God didn't come for the 3 Hebrew boys before the fire, he showed up in the fire. When he didn't come to stop Lazarus from dying, he came to raise him after 4 days. So maybe, just maybe, God didn't come to save you from it, because he plans to reveal himself through it. Faith is not about getting everything. It's about trusting through anything. True faith is not when God answers your prayer, it's when he doesn't, and you still believe. Faith is what keeps you standing when logic says to fall. Faith is what keeps you praising when life doesn't make sense. Faith is what says, even if he slays me, yet will I trust him. That's the kind of faith. That's why.
What if he never comes? Now let's face the hardest part. Even after all your prayers, all your faith, all your tears, he doesn't come the way you hoped. Then you live, you still rise, you still shine. Because faith was meant to be a contract. It's a relationship. You don't trust God because of what he does. You trust him because of who he is. Even he doesn't, the situation. He can fix your spirit. Even if the storm doesn't stop, he can give you peace within it. And sometimes that peace is the greatest miracle of all. You see, the measure of faith is not how loud you shout when the breakthrough comes, but how raking quietly you trust when nothing changes. So if he doesn't come, keep walking. Because his ways are higher, his timing is perfect, and his plan is still good, even when it hurts. The hidden blessing of not yet. Every unanswered prayer is an unopened door to something better. You don't see it now, but one day you'll look back and say, thank God you didn't come when I wanted. Sometimes a not yet of God is mercy in disguise. He's not trying to withhold joy. He's preparing you to handle it. So instead of asking, why hasn't God come? Start to asking, what is God preparing me for? Turn your pain into power. If God didn't come and that pain is fuel, turn your tears into teaching, turn your waiting into true worship, turn your wounds into wisdom. The people who shake the world are not the ones who never faced disappointment. They're the ones who refused to stay down when it came. Don't let your story end in defeat. Use your pain to help someone else rise. Use your experience to tell someone, I've been there and I survived. Because sometimes your delay is not even about you. It's about the lives you'll inspire through it. When God doesn't come, keep becoming. So if God didn't come in your case, what next? You keep believing, you keep standing, you keep growing, because faith is not just a one-time shout, it's a lifetime stance. And it reminds you, every hero of faith had moments when God didn't come when expected. Abraham waited decades. Hannah cried for years, job loss, everything. Even Jesus on the cross cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? But even when heaven was silent, redemption was being born. So if you're in that place where it seems like God didn't come, hold on. The story isn't over yet. Sometimes his greatest miracles come after the waiting. One day you'll stand the same crowd, I'll see what's going. Now I when the stand over stink silent. I when the stand over stink sick. For love mean when the stand over trapped from death.
And one day, you'll stand and say, now I see why he delayed. Now I understand why he stayed silent. He was working, even when I couldn't see it. So today, what? Walk with faith, not frustration. Pray with hope, not fear. And when you ask, what if God didn't come in my case? Remember this, he's still God. He's still good. And he's still coming. Maybe not the way you expected, but in the way that will change your life forever.
If this message spoke to your heart, don't just scroll away. Subscribe now. Because every week, God sends a word through this channel to strengthen your faith and remind you that you're not forgotten. Click subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. And let's walk this journey of faith together. One message at a time. Remember, your next miracle could come through the next video. Don't miss it.